Okay. Hi, the abstractionist. So, this is going to be a really, hopefully, short video. I did kind of do it under 10 minutes the last video, so I'm like, because you know me, it'd be like, oh, this is a short video. This is like 18 minutes long. I'm like, girl, like, shut the fuck up. Anyway, so this video is going to be about, uh, like decks and stuff like that. So, it's kind of interesting because I mentioned in the first recording of the last video that I did, which is talking about me like reading again and getting more in the spirit as we hit the like darker half of the year, that I personally I have not purchased any decks that I can really remember this year. I don't think I really purchased anything. Uh, If I did, that shit is not remarkable right now. I just feel like, bro, there was this that time period. There's a Pimple Popper video I'm watching, but there was that time period where like it was like left and right book reviews and deck reviews and all this other stuff, and it died down. And I'm like, okay, so we just aren't in that wave anymore. I get it. And then the tarot scape kind of changed. Like all these people that I used to watch started leaving. My like Yoga Nidra, not a yoga teacher, she like went offline. One lady that I really enjoyed that like I watched a reading from years ago, 2016ish. She's no longer on here, and I'm that person. I will try and find you in 2025. I ain't gonna lie. I try to find you, try to find what's her name, Mana. Try to find like all these old people I used to watch because I just like they were the shit. Like I'm not gonna lie, they were the shit. And I just feel like there was such a variety of readers back then that were not just talking about like relationship stuff. And I feel like I don't know, like I love relationship readings and stuff like that. But some of that stuff is like, why is it so why is it so ghetto? Like why is this always somebody got some problems? I will say when it comes to that observation though, we have less on my feed, less twin flames. So that's a win. That's a win. Less twin flames, that's a win. And I feel like less of the soulmatey kind of readings. For a minute it got real spicy for some reason. Like we were doing like the spicy readings, still have those, but it was like real spicy and explicit for some reason, where people was like, go to my Patreon or go to my this and that and we can get real juicy details on this. And it was just like, maybe this ain't fully what tarot wants to be used for. Like what's your next fling? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's not what tarot trying to tell you. Like, you know, because then people was developing decks based off that, like sexual stuff. I'm like, bro, this is not like we've gone too far. Like I'm there, but we've gone too far. And now we're in this wave where like we were in the wave, like I feel like after the pandemic until 2023-ish, maybe 2022-ish, the declutter phase where everybody was like, I only need one deck. One deck is all I need. And I was just like, girl, you only need one deck. You know, like all these people was like that overconsumption. And we're still on that wave in many ways on YouTube. But I was over that wave. I ain't gonna lie, like as a consumerist, I didn't like that wave because it just felt like just quietly get rid of your deck. Like why are you up here like we're just doing too much? It's like maybe you're doing too much. Part of that was like people did not have actual practices where they were using that stuff. And I feel like when I was actively really reading tarot, like I read a variety of decks. like I had my favorites and I would vend and stuff like that. Like that space was like so toxic. It was just like, girl, like just use your decks, or if you don't use them, like sell them or give them away. Like what's the issue? Then we had the people that was complaining about being left out in the tarot spaces, and I really feel like that's when I noticed the divide between the real academic people in tarot and the people that was just doing it like romanticy, romanticy tarot. No offense to the romanticy kind of readers and stuff like that, but it's like that kind of tarot versus like the more academic study tarot. And I'm in both camps in many ways still. When I got into it, I was definitely in this camp. As I get older, I want to get into the more academic side of it. Not even like serious hardcore, because like even my animism, like I thought I would be like deeply established in some like ATR by now, which is African traditional religion, or like even like something like a Wicca or some sort of paganism kind of like system, pagan system, witchcraft system. And like I'm not, like tarot's my main thing. I do feel like I want to still explore Lenormand and really how to read a chart, but my ambitions for like being this big tarot reader and we're doing this, we're taking it on the road, like had kind of given that up. I think like in some capacity I will always read tarot, but I feel like in some ways that time has passed. Like I will definitely read in person at events, but that I feel like I need, like I don't feel like tarot reading is like the main thing I'm supposed to do anymore. And I think for a lot of people, that's how they got into it when they really started to focus on it. Like this is like going to be a big part of my life and my life's work and how I make money. Like this is going to be that. And for me, all these decks is like, damn, you were wrong. But I don't really regret having all of these decks because I feel like I'm always going to be using them in some capacity. Like I may have seasons where I'm not actively reading and I'm not actively collecting either, but I just don't feel like I'm gonna give them up and be like, yeah, like this is just great that I gave up like 100+ decks. Like I always will feel like, damn, like I gave them up. Like, wow, that's kind of weird. And I guess like you kind of feel like, well, I spent so much money on it. Even still, like I've sold some decks and I don't really regret those because they weren't really decks that I like clicked with. But the decks that I have here, I feel like if I got if I gave a majority of them away, I would regret that. Like there's still maybe one or two or even like a dozen that like could probably really be passed on. But like once we get past like 30, 40, I think I would start to like regret it personally. So I'm just going to keep them and adapt them to the new wave that I'm on when it comes to my spirituality, because I just feel like that's where I am. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I am. I don't want to give them up and stuff like that. But I have noticed when I go to the store, and y'all may notice this too, I guess I'm not also in these spaces anymore. Like I don't really catch any readers talking about any new decks, or I don't really see anybody really talking about a deck that they love anymore. I still have a stockpile of watch later videos when it comes to my like tarot deck things. But I haven't been interested in watching them, to be real. I kind of, it's kind of a weird thing because I also want to talk about this with my massage like life, that I feel like that was just a phase of my life for some reason. Like I was supposed to meet certain people and learn certain things and kind of start to take into consideration my own body and stuff like that. And tarot was kind of like a same thing. Like I was going through this thing with this guy and I really had the highs for him. And it was a way for me to like cope with that. But then like healing other stuff, I think once you heal other stuff, you become less reliant on the cards and more like, if you use them, you really like use them, I think, with the best relationship, which is that you're not just coming to them with questions, you're coming to them to just figure out like what they have to communicate. Like sometimes you just want to like check in, like, hey, what do I need to, to know? And it's not like this yearning question that like when you get into tarot, sometimes it's like if you don't know, like you'll just explode or something like that. It's kind of like, let's sit down, let's chat, let's focus on a message. For me, I've really changed how I've seen tarot. But in the stores I go, I don't see anything interesting. I'm kind of mad. I'm like, damn, like we're in the phase where like all the decks suck or something like that. Like that's how I feel. Like I feel like we're in that phase of like shit sucks. Like this shit sucks, and I'm like, why? Why are we in this phase where like shit just feels stuck? Like I've gone to like, there's one more local to me. It's like 20 minutes or something away. And then there's one that's like 30-ish minutes away. And every time I go by their tarot sections, I am not impressed. I'm not intrigued either. And I'm like, damn, like, what happened? What happened? Why are the decks uninteresting now? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe the hype around it because other people, I think the people that needed it, right, really needed to get on the path, got on the path. And then the people that were like hobbyists or just like, this was a hot thing for a moment, they like, they've been gave it up, right? They've already like ditched the shit. But the people